だここにいてね君の笑顔を見せてよ見せてよねフォルガンにかかっているみたいかい越しのせい愛されの東京絶壁で愛していたああ今日も深いね断片的で単純ストーリーだああもういいよまだここにいてね君の笑顔を見せてよ見せてよねフォルガンにかかっているみたいかい越しのせい愛されの東京君の目が覚めたら変わらないよ君と手をつないだら変わらないよ
Hi. Oh, chat's broken. Give me a second. I can fix it. Hello. Hi, everybody. There we go. Hi, wifey. What's up?
Hi everybody, Keg, Demon Lord, Wifey, Sunvi. Hi Taryn, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good.
I'm actually doing really good today. I'm in pretty high spirits. I'm doing pretty good. What's up? Well, we are about to finish Bloodborne. Assuming I beat all of the remaining bosses. There's nothing left to explore. We've got 3 bosses that I know of. I don't know if there's any other secret bosses And I'm excited. Hold on, I gotta switch out the cables. Hold on, where is... Are you going for the final one? Yeah. So all that's left is Lawrence and the DLC, and then the last boss and the secret boss after that I was told how to get to. Okay, Phantom. I can't find my HDMI cable. There it is. How did it get wedged back there? I gotta hook my third screen up to the PlayStation. There we go. Alright, uncatatonic. Turning it on now. But hi everybody. I'm actually doing pretty good. Today should have been a pretty awful day for me. It's a day I have been dreading for a very long time. And you know what? I've had a good time. I've had good company. I've had a lot of help. How's our baby doing? He's being a chubby. When I got home from work, he was dirty. He was a dirty boy. He has been outside rolling in the dirt. He had stuff all over his face. Dirt all over his fur. Bro was... He was absolutely filthy. Which means he's been having a good day. Alright, unplug the controller from the PlayStation. Plug it into the computer. Work wasn't too bad. I made it through work. I got Taco Bell. Or no, not Taco Bell. Taco John's. Came home, ate. I did some chores, cleaned up, took out the garbage. After beating the first boss, I gotta run upstairs and rotate my laundry though. So don't let me forget that, okay? Don't let me forget. Hold on, I gotta get it. There we go. Don't let me forget. Hello. All right. I'm really excited. So, I should, before we do anything, I need a lot of health potions. And as many Quicksilver bullets as I can get, because they're actually being used now. So, what we have left to do... actually, before we do anything, there was one item that I was told I missed that I want to go get real fast. Let's see, where is it? I grab it really fast. Apparently I missed it. Lecture building, first floor. Oh, this is the key that we have. After Bloodborne, please play Elden Ring. It's one of my favorites. I've played Elden Ring. I've 100%ed Elden Ring. I have over 1,000 hours in it. We will be playing it. We're playing all the FromSoft games start to finish. So after this, we have 2 other games, and then Demon Souls remake. Then we are playing Elden Ring as the last in the series before the DLC comes out next month. That is how close we are. We are almost a month away. So after today's stream, we have just over a month to play through 3 games. You're gonna give the $70? I'm going to... So this is where the lecture... I've had this lecture theater key for so long. And apparently I can use it over here. According to this... There's gonna be a door over here that I can use it on. This it? Yep. Here we are. I'm not gonna give the $70 right away. I'm gonna play the Xbox game. Holy shit! I'm gonna play the Xbox games first. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the game will go on sale while we're playing the Xbox games. Otogi and Enchanted Arms are the 2 games. Hopefully the game, maybe I could get I could check that too. Fingers crossed we'll get a sale. And yes, I streamed my reaction to the Elden Ring DLC, and I made a whole long ass thing giving my opinions and talked about it for days. Here it is. This is apparently what I missed. There it is. I asked about it. There's all the items that I've been using, so I can turn into like a sluggy goop, guys. This is the one attack that a whole bunch of people used. Yeah, I saw. He meant guys. I know he did. It's this. Yeah, shooting the tentacles out. Mikolash and a couple like NPC invaders and summons used this. And I was wondering when I was going to be able to get it. Is the stream okay? Should be. It's not dropping, is it? Hopefully not. There we go. We got the auger. With that, we now have everything. Which means we went and got Lawrence's head at the end of yesterday's stream by going the Ebrietas secret window route and finding it down there. Which means it's time. I don't think fire paper is gonna do much good against Lawrence, but we're fighting Lawrence first. The last boss of the DLC. I'm guessing he's gonna be a special style cleric beast, because he looks like a cleric beast that's on fire. So I'm interested to see how different he's gonna be. Hold on, which way is the... Wait, I've already said hi to Keg. It's always good. Yep, it's always good to say hi to Keg. Go ahead and keep saying it. Because apparently, if we go meet Gehrman at the tree, that's the end. That's the end. So this is the last boss before the literal end of the game. Now, last night we locked in and beat Orphan of Kos. All the fights last night were really cool. Surprisingly, and I said this a little bit last night, surprisingly, I think Ludwig was my least favorite boss. Not that it was bad, it's the other bosses were just that good. That, like, they were all good. Sadly, my Maria fight got kind of dicked over by the boss living with so little health that her health bar was actually empty, and I thought I won, and she killed me. I was really, really disheartened after that. And then Orphan of Kos, the first time we fought Orphan of Kos, I did really good, that was awesome. And then his AI bugged, and he would only do like 2 attacks for like 9 tries. It was really, really weird. He like wouldn't do anything else. Can you move, big bitch? Get out of the door. There we go. And then once I locked in, he finally started doing other attacks and then proceeded to have one of the most in like fun fights that I've had. He was really, really, really hard. He was super rewarding to beat. He was annoying. And once he... Oh! I thought I'd click on him. He was really good. Not one of my favorites, but was an amazing fight. We have nothing else to explore, guys. He's waking up. Oh, he's so cool. Look at his horns. Yep, there we go. From Software loves their large monsters with a weird, giant, fucked up left arm. Manus, Demon of Hatred, Cleric Beast. Oh, he's so cool. Oh, I can't see. I can't lock on any lower than that. Oh, I know this theme. I tried to dodge. Ouch. Not like this. Stop. Can't see shit, man. I can't see shit while I'm locked onto him. Oh no. Well, you guys remember how we beat Cleric Beast? I guess I gotta fight another monster unlocked with the Kirk Hammer. He is cool. I'm hoping he has phase changes. I'm hoping he becomes special. I'll get used to his moves. It's honestly kind of disjointing. Excuse me? My favorite archetype. Random motherfucker with a gun. The old reliable. I want to use the Moonlight Sword, man, but... it doesn't... I don't think it's gonna do, like, any stagger damage to him. Most violent beast? So far, he just seems like another... buy the $100 one? I did not buy a $100 pack. Alright, let's try this. He's cool. No fucking shot, man. The most violent, he's running away. That was some good damage. Ow, from him too. That didn't heal me. Just gotta get used to his moveset. Oh, he does 3. Grab. Oh, I missed. Okay, I can't tell what the fuck he's doing, he's just flailing. Ouch. Just gotta learn his shit. Lost his legs. It's pretty safe to just hit him with that. Theme is so cool. No lava. Oh, that hit. He really does not want to get guard broken. Oh. I ran out of health. If I didn't run out of health, I had that. Okay, I hit him with like 30 fully charged R2s, and I never got a visceral attack. Like, I will say, holy shit, do they give you massive diminishing returns when it comes to staggering with charge attacks, man. I haven't gotten a visceral attack from a charge attack since Ebrietas. Not a single. Actually, no. I think maybe did I get one against Ludwig? I might have gotten one against Ludwig. I think I got one against Ludwig. That's the only time hitting the boss repeatedly with fully charged heavies has given me anything. Since, like, Amygdala. I thought with him being a Cleric Beast reskin it would give me that. His theme is so cool. Did you hear the violin part? It's gorgeous. We almost beat him. That was really close. I try my best to not take any damage right here. If I had Adeline's blood on my hotbar, I probably could have won right then and there. Well, I didn't want to get hit, but his hitbox is bigger than the boss's arena, so I took damage anyways. Alright, let's try locking in. Okay, no lock on, that's right. Okay, I can't tell what a combo is. It's just feels like random chances to whether or not he's about to hit me 3 times or 2 times. Bonk. 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 I didn't want to jump. I wanted to roll. Yep, saw that delayed explosion coming. Give it to me. I got robbed. Didn't give me the visceral attack. So interesting. His left swing hits, but his right swing doesn't when you're that close. Oh. he's attacking the other direction and it's swinging so wide that it's hitting me anyways. Oh. Well. That's fun. I was expecting him to do his lava breath, or his running charge, or his 3-hit swipe, or his down smash, or his lunge, but he just kept spamming the wide swing. Don't tell me he's gonna do an Orphan of Kos and just only spam the wide swing. Come on, FromSoft. You programmed the monster to have multiple attacks. You can do it. At least I get some blood vials back from the run back. Not many, but some. You gotta like stick to his left side once he hits phase 3, because he swings a lot with his big claw and his little arm, but his little arm doesn't have as much reach. So you can like kite him in a circle like I was doing before and fully charge heavies. He doesn't really have any obviously parryable attacks that I can see, like Orphan of Kos did with the uppercut. Fucking god, I hate this thing so much. I hate that monster. I love getting hit from 30 feet away by a guy who's swinging at something else because his hitboxes are that big. Well, I've already lost health. I think the boss gets staggered. It's a Cleric Beast reskin. I'm sure it can be. Well, I was doing really good, and then I got hit by a 3-hit combo. I did a lot of damage really fast. Maybe, now that I kind of understand his moveset, I can use the Moonlight Sword. Do I have Charred Hunter set? I'm not changing the armor. The fire damage negation will be minimal. I wanna beat the game using armor that's cool and weapons that I enjoy using. I'm not gonna change my build just because a monster does high damage of one type or the other. I've never been that kind of player. There's only one boss in the Souls series that made me do that, and that was Dark Eater Midir. No other boss has forced me to change my build. And Dark Eater Midir forced me to change my build because I was using the Moonlight Greatsword. And his magic resistance is so high, and his health pool is so big. I really want to try this. See ya, fucker. smacking his ass. Kicking the boss's ass. Thank you, man. Does he deal contact fire damage? He kind of does, yeah. Way too close for comfort there, buddy. Well, come on. Come on. Yes, this is the attack I want him to use. Charge. Listen to his music. Got him! Yeah! That music was so cool. That boss was so fun. That phase 2 and phase 3 fixed every problem I had with the cleric beast. Phase 1 I couldn't lock onto him. Phase 2, the attack range difference in his arms meant positioning mattered really, really, really like badly. And then phase 3, once he was down on the ground, it's just making sure you're baiting out the right attack, standing in the right area, and best of all, I could see! I could see! I was allowed to see a cleric beast while locked on! That was an awesome fight. Holy shit, that was so cool. I can see! I can fight! That was so cool. Hold on, I want to read his rune. Also, I got the beast rune. Is this gonna let me turn into a beast man? Please say yes. What? Laundry. Thank you for reminding me. I'll go do it. I am best hunter. Thank you. Beast's Embrace. After repeated experiments in controlling the scourge of beasts, the gentle embrace rune was discovered. When its implementation failed, the embrace became a forbidden rune. This knowledge became a foundation of the healing church. Those who swear this oath take on a ghastly form and enjoy accentuated transformation effects, especially while wielding a beast weapon. I'm a beast. I look kind of dumb. It's awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool. Looks like a Gorgon, honestly. I can see it. But with that, guys, we've beat the DLC bosses. And sadly, no, I don't have the, I don't have... I can buy a second Holy Moonlight Sword? Huh. Alright, as I was saying, sadly I don't have the Beast Claw. But I do have everything that would be needed to, what's the words I'm looking for? Here, I'm about to get a bunch of stuff. I have everything needed to do an alien goopy parasite build if I wanted. But before we fight the last bosses, we've done it. We've beat every other boss in the game. We've cleared all the areas. We've gotten a ton of loot. A ton of loot. There have been some amazing zones with really good bosses. You guys weren't kidding when you said the DLC was like 5 steps above everything else. The DLC was awesome. I still think my favorite zone in the whole game was Mensis. I loved Mensis and everything in the Nightmare of Mensis. Hold on, how do I take out? I can't. Either way, I loved everything that had to do with Mensis. But we're at it, which means I now have a bunch of stuff to consume. First, I want to pop the Tear Stone. This we got from the doll. Tear Blood Gem. We're gonna go see what that does. Then I got the gold pendant that we got from Vicar Amelia. Gives me the gold blood gem. I got 4/3 of an umbilical cord. We're gonna consume all 4. Right? I have to consume them. Before I do it, I want to make sure anybody who knows if I need to consume them to get the ending or if I need to have them. I think I have to consume them. But I don't want to do it until someone says so. Because I would be so pissed if after all this work we miss out on the special true boss. You need to consume 3? Okay. Use 1. 2. 3. 4. That's all the umbilical cords. We have a bunch of Great One's wisdom and a bunch of Madman's knowledge. I'm gonna pop all of it just because I can. I know, before I go and do the thing, I'll go do the laundry. I just gotta go rotate it quick. I hear you, wifey. Don't worry. Don't worry, darling. I can feel the eyes in my brain. My brain balls. And I think that's everything to consume. So I will be right back really quickly. Gonna run upstairs, rotate laundry, and then the last bosses of the game. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Ugh. Oh no. Why did I just get yoinked off to the side? Did you... Sorry, wife. The demon, it came over and it moved me, I guess. The demon that lives in my house. Alright, so. You guys ready? Because I don't know if I am. That's... You wanted to see Catatonic Phantom? How dare I? It wasn't me! I don't know how many tries this is gonna take, so I'm just gonna stock up. Alright. Coco Pillow Doko. You need a hug? I'll give you a hug. The church is burning. The night is ending. Hold on, I wanna let the doll say what she said one more time.
Gammon awaits you at the foot of the great tree. Go on, good hunter.
Alright.
Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
She is. She's very pretty. Alright. This door's finally open. I'm guessing that big tree is the great tree. Oh, this is so pretty. There he is, the old fart. I thought you were gonna be much more involved, kind of like the sculptor in Sekiro. But I've only seen him a handful of times. But apparently he's one of the originals. Which means he's old. I'm surprised the hunter has lived as long as he has. Maybe it's his obsession with the doll that's kept him sane.
Good hunter, you've done well.
Thank you.
The night is near its end. Now, I will show you mercy. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream.
I have freed so many people. Every hunter except one.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream?
Wheelchair man's getting up.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes. Tonight, Gammon joins the hunt.
It's time for you to wake up. Oh, I love his theme. Ouch. Gotta get used to his moves. I wonder. Ow. I missed. What?
Accept your death. Be freed from the night.
I hyper armored through his thing, but my stab went behind me? What? I was locked on. Did you guys see that? I attacked the completely wrong direction. Skill issue? I guess so. Lock in. He's gonna be like Lady Maria, where I can kind of pseudo stun him. Oh, he's going. I managed to avoid pretty much everything he did there. See if I can hit him with this. I love his theme. Oh, hyper armor. He says stun this. Holy shit, that hurt. What? Listen to this theme, man. Oh my god, it's gorgeous! I got him! Come on! Got him! Gold Hunter badge. One for one against the net. What the hell is this thing? I saved Gurman from the dream. He finally gets to wake up and forget it all. What is this? It's obviously an old one. Moon presence? Ow. Gotta learn his moves, he's weird. His music's interesting. Oh, it's got whippy tails. Is this the Blood Moon? I'm fighting the moon? I can't heal? Oh no, I can't heal.
He made it so I can't heal. Oh no. So he makes it so you can't heal. That's really cool. Okay, okay. I gotta lock in. I actually did a lot of damage to him. He's got very interesting attacks. He does like tail whip attacks if I can maintain a medium distance. Do I have to kill Gehrman again? I got the old hunter's badge. There's no way I do. Oh, tail whip. So no matter where that is, that leaves me at 1 health. And I gotta run up and punish him. What are those? Raining blood. This thing is so cool. Oh, it's so cool. Takes your healing away? So it seems. Got him! Yeah! Buried his face. Nightmare slain. It was the source of the hunter's dream.
Are you cold? Oh, good hunter.
Turned into a worm?
Childhood's beginning. I turned into a worm. I got Murgoed. Congrats on godhood. Is that because I made contact with the moon presence? Because isn't that what happened with Murgo? They like sacrificed Murgo to the formless one, and the formless one like turned Murgo into like a pseudo god as a child of an old one, because I ate the umbilical cord, so I was able to commune. Damn. Well, shit. I don't know if I'd say that's a good ending. I mean, I ended the hunter's dream. I saved everybody, but I guess I paid the price for it. It's the true ending. That was really cool. Oh, that was cool. That was really cool. None of those last 3 bosses were nearly as hard as Kos was. Orphan of Kos. If you lose the fight, you get sent into the real world or replace your mentor. So if I accepted, Gehrman would have killed me. It's Murgo! It's the wet nurse theme! I love this theme. Murgo's wet nurse was my favorite boss in the whole game. He was sparing you from his fate. Yeah, I figured that much. I figured he was like, he's staying behind. We've gone out and we've saved everyone else, ended the other nightmares, and now if you killed him and lost... I did die to the moon presence once. I did die to the moon presence once. Do you mean if I kill him without taking the umbilical cords, I become him? Ye? Okay. So, Gehrman to the moon presence was like Mikolash was to Murgo? Or did the moon presence just like having a dude around? That's interesting. So when they say contacting a great one, they legitimately meant you interact with them and it changes you. That's what happened to Rom when Rom communed with Kos? That's why they turned into like a big pill bug? Yeah, we cleared the whole DLC, yeah, we did. We fought the Orphan of Kos. We fought Lawrence and the Living Failures and all of them, yeah. We 100%'d the game. I beat every boss. Orphan of Kos was a really cool fight. It was hard. I had to lock in. Ludwig, I second tried Ludwig. He was cool. I'm gonna be honest, he was so badass. But gameplay-wise, I think he was the least impactful of all the DLC bosses. His soundtrack is so good. I just killed him a little too easy. Checking the endings guide. I guess I'm pretty sure I could guess what the endings are. Either tell me if I'm right. Gehrman kills you. And just like everyone else you've killed, they awake from the dream in the real world and they forget everything. Like Mikolash was screaming when we killed him. So Gehrman would put us down and we'd be saved from the dream. Then the second ending would be the moon presence shows up and takes us, but doesn't get repelled and we become his goon. And then the third ending is we defeat him and become like Murgo, the surrogate child of a great one. And now the nightmare is ours. Yeah, that's all the endings? That's so cool. That's so cool. I really wish I didn't miss Martyr Logarius and Ebrietas. Because if I didn't miss them, the story would have made a lot more sense by the time I reached Mikolash. Because until I reached Mikolash, nothing made sense. I didn't understand any of the story.
Good. All signed and sealed.
Oh, it restarts.
Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry.
Restarts back at the beginning. And we're back. I have a ton of runes. Hold on. Did I get anything for killing the moon presence? I got the old hunter badge. This hunter's badge, crafted in Gehrman's time, has no practical purpose except perhaps to assist in romanticizing about the past. The badge was a special privilege for the hunters of the past that should not be dishonored. It should be left in peace unless one is truly prepared to assume the will of those gone before. Wow. That's so cool. Did I get a rune from the... No, I didn't. But there was a moon rune. Great ones that inhabit the nightmare are sympathetic in spirit. A transcription of moon. Spoken by the great ones. I just realized the moon rune has no information on it. The moon was left ambiguous. So the blood was... One thing I'm confused about. The hunter's dream is the nightmare that the moon presence owns, right? Just like how the beasts, the beast nightmare where all the blood drunk hunters go was the nightmare that Orphan of Kos owned, because Orphan of Kos was that surrogate child. And then the nightmare of Mensis was the nightmare that Murgo created, because Murgo was the surrogate child using there. If you look out, you can see thousands of other dreams. I did see that. I saw all the trees in the distance. I didn't know that... There's other... I didn't even piece that together. But the blood moon. What's up with the blood moon? Why does it happen? And the same thing with Elden Ring. Yeah, they did the same thing with Elden Ring with the... You honestly don't know? That's the one thing that I feel like nothing explained. It talks about Mensis doing stuff, right? But why? Why was Rom holding back like a ritual? Because that's what it said. It said the spider would hold back things that people didn't want to see. Why? How? Willem and Rom managed to commune with Kos, according to Mikolash, and it turned Rom into a big pill bug that went into the lake. Maybe the moon presence? But that doesn't make sense, because once the blood moon came out, we went to the nightmare of Mensis. The moon was present during that fight, that's true. Maybe. But because it was saying something like Mensis needed the blood moon to happen. If Mensis needed the blood moon to happen, that would mean that the moon presence... Does that make Murgo the moon presence's surrogate child? Because I thought Murgo was... Where is it? I thought Murgo was Oedon's child. The great one that lacks no form. And I thought Murgo's wet nurse was like an extension of Oedon. That's why it had no face and was like invisible, but was covered in robes and had claws and weapons. Because this mentions that Oedon is like the source of the blood that the Healing Church used, and Mensis was a branch of the Healing Church. So if Mensis used blood and a surrogate child together to communicate with an old one, I thought it would be Oedon that they communicated with. Interesting. Have you read the Chalice Dungeon lore? Not too much. We didn't do too much Chalice Dungeon. Hold on, I want to go back to Hunter's Dream. And then I did see your comment, Zekin, asking me where does Bloodborne go on my tier list. That's a tough question. It's actually a really tough question. That's like the only thing I don't fully understand. I feel like I kind of understand Rom more, because if Rom communed with Kos in the same way we communed with the Moon Presence, and it turned Rom into a giant pillbug, us turning into a little worm makes sense. Right? Right? At least that's the way I see it. The cleric beast screaming out from the bridge. That's so cool. The ranking of Bloodborne is like the nature of the game itself, ambiguous. My ranking of Bloodborne, I feel like I have a pretty good grasp of where I'd put it though. Alright, we wake up here. The doll isn't moving yet. Yeah, I don't know too much about the chalice. I've read a bit about the chalice stuff. A ritual chalice found in the Church of the Good Chalice, used in a ritual at the tomb altar. Let the chalice reveal the tomb of the gods. Let blood be the hunter's nourishment, and let ye partake in communion. Root chalices are used in rituals to break old labyrinth seals. Are said to change the labyrinth's form each time. The old labyrinth was carved out by the Pthumerians, superhuman beings that are said to have unlocked the wisdom of the eldritch truth. We have ran into the Chalice dungeons a little bit. The old labyrinth was carved out. So Pthumerians made contact? The old labyrinth was carved of old labyrinth. A chalice that breaks labyrinth seal. Hintertombs are the peripheral catacombs of the old underground labyrinth. To this day, the Watchers continue to expand the Hintertombs, unceremonious catacombs filled with graves and death. The tragedy that struck this alien land of Lorne is said to have its roots in the Scourge of the Beast. And then great chalices unlock deeper reaches of the labyrinth. The Great Is Chalice became the cornerstone of the choir. So, the Moon Presence is what they came in contact with? Interesting. Also, yeah, now that I'm looking, these rocks have little things on top of them. Ancient civilization. Yeah, they were talking about, I remember them talking about like the, yeah, this is definitely on top of one of the pillars. Them talking about the labyrinth being under Yharnam. And I also feel like I remember something saying that the lady in the white dress, the mother of Murgo, was a Pthumerian queen. And that Yharnam was named after her. Like, her name is Yharnam, I thought. Am I right? Or am I misremembering? Or am I just making shit up? Am I probably know more than I do? I don't know if I do.
Welcome to the Hunter's Dream. I am... Gammon.
He's even, like, struggling. Like, he's so... I feel like killing him is the best mercy I possibly could have done. He deserves. He's so old. He's been hunting for so long. And he's lost all of his buddies. Fucking Ludwig turned into a big horseman. A badass boss of a horseman. Maria did some real fucked up shit. Lawrence deserved to be remembered as a hero. Dude was the first person to fall. He had good intentions.
This was... Oh, this was... Oh, you're welcome to you.
Even the doll should have pleased you, yep. Sent him out to the real world. Yeah, well, I'd rather... If I was him... No, you know what? It doesn't matter. Because he's not going to remember any of this. He's not going to remember any of it. He's going to wake up. He's not going to remember any of it. And that is probably the best mercy I could possibly give him. It's the mercy he offered me. I don't know if that's true, but that'd be funny. The story of this game, he thinks he has amnesia. He kind of talks like he has amnesia. He's been here for really long. It makes me think of that quote, the fear old men in a profession where men die young. This is very... I didn't really know what was up with the Hunter's Dream. I thought it was just like a pocket dimension of some sort that maybe like the doll was hosting. But no. It had its own old one chilling in it. It's just dreamception. Also, how's the Great Moonlight Dildo? It's cool. So, wrapping up my thoughts, I think it's really, really cool how the story of this game, like, everything is a dream. I didn't know what was real, what wasn't, what was going on. This is all a bunch of people trapped in the dream of a formless, insane, impossible to comprehend being, right? And then there's, like, dreams within the dream. I don't know how deep in this is, but we're able to get here from anywhere else, which makes me think that this is, like, one stage farther out of the Inception loophole than Yharnam is. And we went through, we woke everybody up by killing them, we hunted those that have gone insane, we found the ones that went completely blood drunk in the DLC, took them out. We found out what the Healing Church had been doing to try and do blood rites, which was really screwed up. A whole bunch of branches of the church sought out contact with old ones, but it seems like they didn't care who they contacted. All they cared about was contacting someone. So, like, Lawrence originally started the church along with, like, Ludwig and Gehrman and Lady Maria and so on and so forth to do good. This helmet, or this skull, I guess I don't have the skull anymore now, it took it from me. Lawrence's skull said as much. And he was the first vicar. He was the first person to turn into a cleric beast. He was the first person to fully beast out, which means he's the first of the church to find out after having fucked around. He meant good. But after he was gone, everyone went off and did their own things. Gehrman seems to have left, like, the church entirely and formed a group of hunters meant to hunt down people that went blood drunk. The church had its own branches that hunted down people that went blood drunk to, like, clean up its messes. The choir tried to contact an old one in space and all went insane, and Ebrietas showed up. It seems like the clock tower in Maria was kind of like the original stages of the choir, and I think the living failures was like the failed attempts at creating a emissary, right? A celestial emissary. Right? And then, Rom contacted Koss and turned into a big pill bug. But the people of Bergenworth, like, killed, or didn't kill Koss, but they did something really bad. And Koss's dead body washed up on the shore, along with a bunch of parasites that turned everybody into fish people. And in a subversion, since Koss was dead, her child couldn't die, because the rune says that all great ones lose their child and then yearn for another. So instead, Koss's orphan stayed behind. And because the orphan didn't die, it created a nightmare outside of the usual nightmares created by giving surrogate children to great ones. So it's really weird. We actually came across a ton of old ones. There was Formless Odin, who I think is Murgo's wet nurse, but we know Murgo's wet nurse was a great one. Ebrietas was a great one. The Celestial Emissary said great one slain when we killed it. The Brain of Mensis, it said that was an old one. The Moon Presence was an old one. Kos was an old one. Were there any other old ones? I guess I can look it up now. Yeah, the great ones. Amygdala was one, Celestial Emissary was one, Ebrietas was one, Murgo's Wet Nurse was one, Moon Presence was one, and then Rom was one. But Rom, instead of creating a pocket dimension like everyone else did... No! Rom did make a pocket dimension. Separate from the Blood Moon. That's why when we killed Rom, the Blood Moon showed up. Rom had its own dream. And then they hid Rom in the lake so that it couldn't end. That's why that one note was saying, like, that Bergenworth was keeping something from Mensis. Was it keeping the Blood Moon from Mensis? We came across a lot more old ones than I thought we were going to. And killed quite a lot of them. But I have a feeling it's very Lovecraftian, where they don't die in the way that that normal things die. Because Murgo died. Right? Murgo died when Mensis sacrificed Murgo as a surrogate child for whatever old one they contacted. And then all of their brains, they were stillbirthed in the brains, is what it said. Their brains were stillbirthed. Which I'm guessing they were stillbirthed into the Nightmare of Mensis, except for Mikolash, who was a host. So that's interesting. So it seems you can die in the dream and in the real world. Probably if you go blood drunk, I'm guessing. Kind of like how in Dark Souls, I'm comparing it to Dark Souls, where you can't die as an undead, but if you go hollow, you won't respawn anymore. Like, if you go hollow, you go crazy and you're separated from flame, and then you don't come back when you die. Right? I'm guessing that's the way it works. But that also makes sense why we're here. We start here. When we die, we don't wake up in the real world. When we die in Yharnam, we wake up here. Because this is where we're dreaming. That's why we'd have to be killed in here to wake up from the dream. That's why Gehrman offers to kill us here. Yeah. That's cool. It's very Inception. And intentionally left vague. But I do feel like... I wish they explained Rom a little bit more. Rom was such a confusing part of the story for me. I had no idea what was happening. When you realize that none of this happened. Well, it's not that it didn't happen. It did, but we fixed it. We cleaned it up. It did happen. It happened in an extra-dimensional sense. And if we didn't clean it up, it would still be happening. It's not a situation of us saving people, or it's not a situation of us fixing it. It's us putting an end to it. Like going, alright, this has gone too far. And cleaning it. Cleaning everything up. It's so cool. Well, I really... You didn't kill any of the gods? Yep, that's what I was saying. Murgo was dead. But she wasn't dead. We're killing avatars. We're killing projections of them that they're using to reach out and contact people, and then people are turning into them as the surrogate children. Because the children of Great Ones are Great Ones. So once they get that connection, they become a Great One. Murgo was a great one. Like, Murgo was killed, right? Died, was stillbirthed, but still existed, and still had Murgo's nightmare and the nightmare of Mensis, and still cried and could still be heard, and was still being taken care of by Murgo's wet nurse. So it's really Inception-y, and it's very much the Lovecraft idea of the gods are just sleeping. They can't die. They don't die. It's not a situation of dying. Death and life is not something in their existence. Their existence is so different than us. That's why we needed eyes in our brains in order to even see stuff. Because we need the extra dimensional understanding to even start trying to comprehend what's in front of us. But most people were not strong enough for that, and they just went insane. And their brains, they like suffered brain death. That's why there were so many dead bodies when we went to Mensis' nightmare by touching that one dude. That you never solved the problem, only prolonged the inevitable. Yes, but the other common theme of Lovecraft is that the inevitable is something that you can't understand. You may think, oh, that's a bad ending. It's not the end. There's more than that. It's beyond what you can understand. I think they did a pretty good job with it. The true question is, in the true ending, are you continuing the dream? Technically, yes. But the question is whether we, as an old one, are going to draw more people in. Because if we draw more people in, and then those people sign contracts, and more dreams are made, and other old ones draw people into their own pocket dimensions, and the strings start to cross and the multi-dimensional stuff going on, it'll probably happen again. Like you said, all the old ones still exist. We didn't kill them. We cleaned up the mess that was made. They're definitely going to make more messes. And if all of these pillars are other dreams, there's probably a lot of other messes currently going on. But, probably the biggest downside of this game, story-wise for me, is I did not understand anything until 3/4 of the way through the Mensis Nightmare. And that's the end of the game. I really wish they explained more a little bit quicker. And I wish the bosses that were really important for context of the world weren't so easy to miss. I did not find the Celestial Emissary or Abriatus. I had to be guided there by viewers. I completely missed it entirely. So I didn't get any of that any of that context. They spoke about the choir like 8 times, and then I never experienced anything more. And I didn't realize that there was so much cosmos stuff going on until then. Up until then, and even after then, it was just beasts until we hit Mensis, right? When we fought against the brain and started dealing with frenzy and started finding out what insight actually is. Rom was like the only celestial alien thing and wasn't explained. And I feel like if I had gone to Abriatus, it would have been explained more. So I kind of wish that that wasn't so easy to miss. And that does affect my placing of the game on my tier list. Also, if you're heading to bed, Taryn, thank you for hanging out. We'll be playing more games. We will be playing more. We still got more FromSoft games to play through. But that does affect my placement of this game on my tier list because it was really hard to get immersed. It felt like a video game and not like an experience. And I know, I get it, it is a video game, but FromSoft games are so good at being full immersive experiences where you start to understand the world and you start to care. And then the controls melt away. You stop feeling like you're holding a controller and you start feeling like you're in the world. You get so ingrained in the story. You start to understand the weight of things and want answers to your questions. Bloodborne didn't it's not that it didn't give me answers to the questions. It didn't let me know what my questions were supposed to be. Yeah, exactly. The angle of attack to enjoy this is different from what I used to. This game does suffer from age. It does. This camera is one of the worst cameras in any FromSoft game I've played. There were some times, especially in main Yarnum, where the camera was impossible to use. Literally impossible. There were so many times I died, literally not able to see anything, because gravestones, random rubble, sticks, tree branches, and random, like, lanterns were completely blocking my camera. And you can't play when you can't see. Now, the fix to that, and there were also a few bosses where the lock-on point was so high up in the air that if you were close enough to hit them, you can't see. You're looking like this. And when you're fighting a boss like this, and the boss is taking up more screen than you have, you cannot react to this shit. You can't see where you're standing. You can't tell if you're gonna get caught on something. Like in the Orphan of Kos arena, there were little tiny sticks that were smaller than these flowers that counted as terrain that you couldn't dodge over or break. So I would get stuck a lot. The answer to that is to play unlocked. You know what the problem with playing this game unlocked is? If you're unlocked, you do Dark Souls dodges. You don't get...
It's only a game.
You don't...
Why you got to be mad?
You don't get the Bloodborne dodge. So for the first many bosses except Gascoigne, I was playing the game like Dark Souls. Because you can't parry with the gun unless you're locked on. You can't aim. And you can't dodge. You can't do the Bloodborne quick step if you're not locked on. So the camera being really bad for that, I legitimately played to the first like 2/3 of this game using the Kirk hammer two-handed because I couldn't use my gun, so there's no point in using a weapon that could. Rolling like it's Dark Souls and doing charged hammer attacks. That being said, I really liked using Kirk's hammer and playing unlocked. I'm sad that it wasn't very Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but I'm happy that it was really Dark Souls. Because I'm a Dark Souls enjoyer. We've been playing a ton of Souls games, so I'm okay with it. It's just I kind of am sad that I didn't get to feel like I was playing Bloodborne that much. That being said, the times where I did get to feel like I'm playing Dark Souls or Bloodborne were amazing. This game did gimmick bosses amazing. Kirk Hammer is one of the coolest designs. I actually agree. I know it's simple, but this transformation, the lunge, the attacks feel beefy and chunky. I killed most bosses with charged heavies with this hammer throughout like the whole game up until the end when I got the Moonlight Greatsword. And I enjoyed it. I did. It's slow, but it is satisfying, and it's one of the only weapons that can actually stagger normal monsters. Which, if you're a fan of the really quick dodging but never staggering and never trading gameplay, I'm sure playing this game normally with a quick weapon is one of the best experiences, only being bested by like Sekiro, right? But for me, I really liked the hammer because I did not like the quick dodge gameplay as much as I thought I was going to. Mostly because, like, I could hit an enemy 6 times with the sword, and it won't stagger them. Even if there's some little tiny guy. And that, in my brain, with the way that every other Souls game has been, did not feel right. It felt really, really wrong. Sekiro is similar, but Sekiro has perfect parries. So you can just wail on them, and instead of trading, you stop attacking and perfect parry. That had its own thing. I feel like Sekiro was an evolution of this game's intended fast combat. This was still good. Once we got out of Yarnum, everything got better. drastically. The Forbidden Forest was awesome. Canehurst was awesome. The Nightmare of Mensis and the Hunter's Nightmare, all awesome. So fucking cool. And then some of the Beast bosses were really cool. Bloodstarved Beast, I loved getting to use items to influence that fight. That felt really involved. And sorry, really immersive. Parl was a really cool fight too. I wish I didn't wait so long to go back to actually finish Parl off, because when I did kill Parl with the Kirk Hammer, he actually never attacked once. I legitimately, like, I did it perfectly. I timed my heavies perfectly, but he never got one attack off. Not I dodged them all. He didn't attack. I got up to him, stunned him with a fully charged heavy, staggered him back, jump close, fully charged, staggered him back, jump close, fully charged, stagger him back, riposted, jump close, stagger him. Like, I completely 100%ed him, just beating the shit out of him with a tombstone on a stick. It was awesome. Irritatingly enough, Bloodborne and Fallout are the closest things we have to good Lovecraft games. That's true. Now, that's all that I can complain about, if I'm being honest. The story is hard to get immersed in right away until you get pretty late in. And some of the stuff that would help with that are very hard to find, because this game does not point you in the right direction. That's probably the biggest negative about not having any direction, is everything is so same face that you do not know where the right way to go is. So you don't know what's optional content. And since you don't know what's optional content, you don't know what you want to do first if you want to fully explore the whole world like I did. And as such, I found myself backtracking a lot. To be fair, as an individual, confusion and ignorance, yes, but that's like story and feeling-wise. I'm talking level design right now. I'm talking level design. I wanted to explore everything, so I wanted to do the optional stuff, right? I never once knew what was optional. Ever. I was constantly coming across side paths. Like, oh, there's 7 directions to go. 2 of these are optional. 1 is the right one. And the other 4 are dead ends that I'm going to find out it's a dead end in 3 turns. That's okay until every single one of the optional places are another 7 branches that lead to another 7 branches. So it's so hard to tell what you've missed and what you're supposed to be going towards. I was just wandering, and I got lost a few times, and I missed a lot. I missed Iosefka's clinic entirely. I missed the real, or the Yarnum version of this church entirely. I missed, or the workshop entirely. I missed a whole bunch of areas completely because I didn't know which way was supposed to be the right way, and I accidentally went the right way. Now, the bad camera, 0 direction. I'm not saying that I want my handheld. If Gehrman, at the beginning, Gehrman sits up here and he says, go get a chalice. And then after you get the chalice, he says, go see the vicar in the church, right? If he would have said, you have to go find Bergenworth. And the shortcuts that goes to shortcuts that goes to shortcuts. Yep, that's the thing. There were so many side paths that they kind of had to use the side paths to make shortcuts. It's okay fundamentally. But it would not have been a problem if Gehrman just said, go to Bergenworth. I was never told to go to Bergenworth. I wandered there. Even though that's the big transformational point. Killing Rom is the big transformational point. I was never told that. I was never even told Rom exists. I was never told to go to there. I was never told to find Bergenworth. It wasn't until I reached the Nightmare of Mensis that I was told to do something, and that was to go stop the Nightmare of Mensis. That aimlessness, it takes away the ability to get immersed. It doesn't take away from the gameplay, it takes away from immersion, which is rough because one of my favorite things about Souls games is the immersion. All these games have an Anor Londo point. The point where, up until this point, you've been kind of figuring stuff out, right? And you fight some cool stuff and you're finding out what's going on in the world, and then your place in the world is explained. This game's Anor Londo Point is the second to last boss. You can finish the game after killing Murgo's Wet Nurse. Murgo's Wet Nurse is one of the 3 potential final bosses. Because if you let Gehrman kill you, that's it. Which means there are people out there who played this game who had no idea where they were, what they were doing, what was happening, or why they were there until 30 minutes before the game ended. That's a little... That seems like an... That feels like too much ambiguity, in my opinion. So that does kind of harm it. Because every other game has Anor Londo points at different stuff. That was you? Yeah. All the other games, like Dark Souls 2, it like this doesn't explain anything for a really long time. But after you kill the 4 old ones in Dark Souls 2, then you're told to go to Castle Vendrick, and from there on, the story and world is explained to you, right? Dark Souls 3, right away you get a cinematic telling you you need to go find the lords. That's your goal, and you go find the lords. That's the gameplay. I don't expect to have the world explained to me, but if one single note or character said to go to Byrgenwerth, I would not have had this problem. This entire problem would have been gone. Because after Byrgenwerth, the Blood Moon shows up, and then it's going through the Blood Moon in the Hunter's Dream until you get to the Nightmare of Mensis, and then you deal with Mensis, right? That's that. But because Rom... I feel like Rom was meant to be this game's Anor Londo moment. But in Dark Souls 1... you have 3 people tell you to go to Anor Londo, ring the bells and go to Anor Londo. No one tells you to go to Lake Byrgenwerth. When you go to Anor Londo, a giant sexy lady gives you a big bowl and says to go get the Souls of Lords, right? When you kill Rom, no one tells you anything. A lady in a white dress with blood shows up, cries, the moon turns red, and then you wake up in Yahar Ghul. Like... It feels like that was meant to be this game's Anor Londo moment, but it was like they forgot to put the Anor Londo in the Anor Londo moment. Does that make sense? So I feel like if they made that tiny change, I would not have a point. I can forgive the camera in the same way I can forgive the slow gameplay in games like King's Field and like Shadow Tower, because the game is older. When did this game come out? 2014? This game came out at the same time as Dark Souls 2. That's a long time ago. That's 10 years ago. Or did it come out in 2013? Is it even older? So I can forgive the camera. I really can. It was really annoying in the moment, but I got through it. Let's see. Bloodborne release date. 2015. Okay, I was off by a year, but still. That's still an older game. If I had to put this game anywhere, I would put it... Hold on. Does a Soulsborne games tier list exist? It does. Found some lore really fast. The moon presence might not be a real great one. It might be the great one's natural predator. That's cool. And that's why it's hunting us to... sending us as the hunters. That's cool. That's probably speculation, but that's cool. I have now played all these games, so I can make my tier list right now. However, we have not played the Demon Souls remake, so I can't put this on here yet. And I can't properly put Elden Ring anywhere until its DLC comes out, right? So I'm going to consider all of these with their DLC. It's speculation based on the Japanese script's quirks. So I do take what the Japanese scripts say as directly the canon, because anything said in the English versions is translation. It's translated. Demon Souls, it's almost the same, just look better. Okay. Well, I want to see how much the improved graphics actually affect the overall feeling of the game, because it might make it worse. I love the original Demon Souls aesthetic, so we'll see when we play it. That's going to be the next new FromSoft game that we play after we play like Otogi or Enchanted Arms. In my opinion, and this is very biased when I say this, okay? Sekiro is easy S tier. Because even though it's so different than the other games, I fell completely in love with the story. And it actually does have my favorite boss out of all these games, the Demon of Hatred. No boss in any of these games here have given me as complete of a feeling of absolute joy and pure fun as fighting the Demon of Hatred did. That massively skews it. Because I kind of have to base this, in my opinion, every one of these games is good, except Dark Souls 3. So how fun they are, and how complete of an experience they are, determines where it's placed. And I feel like Sekiro was that. However, it is not number 1 on the S tier. Demon Souls is also an S tier. Demon Souls is also an S tier. In my opinion, original Demon Souls is one of the best games that has ever been made. It is so clean. It is so clean. Also, I meant Dark Souls 2. Did I say Dark Souls 3? I meant Dark Souls 2. It has aged really well. I'm back, nerds. How's it everyone doing? We're doing good, Eggy. I'm explaining my placements of the games. Demon Souls, that was a close one. Demon Souls is just a complete package. The NPCs are all done really good. The world exploration is awesome. The story is so cool. All of the bosses, except like the Iron Spider, are awesome. And it has some of my favorite skill checks. Like where you reach a boss and it's like, all right, you want to get any farther, you have to get good. And that's Flame Lurker and Old King Alant. Those two bosses are peak Souls 100,000%. Now, let's talk about the stinky ugly, Dark Souls 2. I cannot put... Why not the Iron Spider? The Iron Spider was a really clunky gimmick boss. Its hitboxes were really bad. I hope it's going to be a lot better in the remake, but its hitboxes were very unreliable. Once you know its gimmick, he's also brain dead easy to beat. It's like if they took a ballista and then made it a boss. Dark Souls 2 is the bottom, hands down. The only reason it's not D is because Scholar of the First Sin Edition exists with all 3 DLC. Dark Souls 2's DLC is some of the best DLC ever. It sucks that it's connected to a game that's this whack. The DLC salvaged it completely. I am still completely under the belief that Dark Souls 2 never should have been called Dark Souls 2. They barely have any references to Dark Souls 1 in it, story-wise. They should have just made it its own standalone story, like how Demon Souls and Dark Souls are both their own thing. Dark Souls 2 should have been its own thing. Miyazaki agrees. Miyazaki didn't want Dark Souls 2, and he was brought in later to fix it with Scholar of the First Sin Edition. But like paying $60 to pay $20 for a quarter of a good game, yeah, that's true. So, but also being its own thing wouldn't stop dumb level design and input reading. True, but dumb level design, input reading, and invincibility frames being based around a stat would be, they could then say, that's just the way this game is. You can't say that with Dark Souls 2, because that's not Dark Souls. Objectively, there are 3 Dark Souls games, and only one of them has those. The one before it, which was the original vision, and the one after it, which is the final vision, do not have those things. Objectively, those are not Souls mechanics. Just, you could say the same thing about Bloodborne. Bloodborne not having stagger in the way that the other games have, right? You could say the same thing. You can say, that's just Bloodborne. This isn't Dark Souls. You're supposed to play this way, because that's Bloodborne, not Dark Souls. You can't say that with Dark Souls 2, because Dark Souls 2 is a Dark Souls game. If it had its own name, and was named, like, I don't know, Stinky Souls, alright? If it was named Stinky Souls, and was its own series, anybody who says, I don't like that the invincibility frames are matched to that, and I don't like that they input read, other people could go, then stick to your Dark Souls. This is Stinky Souls. This isn't the same. Stop making everything like Dark Souls. It should be its own thing. Like you can say about Bloodborne. Bloodborne has that defense. Dark Souls 2 does not. That's why Dark Souls 2 is on the bottom of the list. It is it is the least shiny of these gems. And while the first base part of the game sucks, everything after Castle Drangleic is great. Especially since by that point most people have enough invincibility frames to play the game as if it's normally a game. But that doesn't change the fact that fundamentally it's a bad idea. I could rant about how much I hate Dark Souls 2. They separated Dark Souls 2 and Scholar of the First Sin. Okay. Base game Dark Souls 2, bottom. Scholar of the First Sin is a C. If anything, it's a low B tier. Because this is separate. Now that these exist separately, I can put Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin up one higher. I actually can. So that explains that placement. I cannot put Demon Souls anywhere. So I'm going to leave it down here. The remake, I'm guessing it's going to be up here with Demon Souls 1. But we will see. Dark Souls 1 is the bottom of... Dark Souls 1 is the top of A tier. In my opinion, Demon Souls has aged better than Dark Souls. Specifically because of what Zekken just said. Dark Souls 1 did have a rushed development near the end. And some of the more bigger stuff near the end definitely got blunted because of that. But it's still a top tier experience, and the only reason it isn't S is because there are a ton of other S's. A ton. If Dark Souls 1 didn't have the little bit of rushed weird stuff that it had, it would be above Demon Souls, 100%. Now, just above Sekiro, Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, in my opinion, is the peak of all Souls games, but there's a reason it's behind Demon Souls. Dark Souls 3 is what it is the penultimate idea of what a Souls game is meant to be. However, the only reason Dark Souls 3 is not higher than Demon Souls is because Dark Souls 3 actually launched with very few bosses. It's a surprisingly short game if you don't take into account the DLC. When Dark Souls 3 came out, I won it in 2 days. Blind. The day after the game came out. Because it is really, really short. The DLC pads a lot on, and the best bosses are in the DLC. But Even the DLCs aren't that long. Sister Freed's DLC only has 2 bosses. Ringed City is peak. If I'm being honest, Ringed City is peak. Demon Souls gets to be higher than Dark Souls 3 because Demon Souls feels like a genuinely complete experience in its entirety. I might be looking through rose-tinted glasses, but we played the game on stream. You guys got to see it. You guys know what I'm talking about when I say I fucking love Demon Souls. Demon Souls, I love it so much. I'm so excited to play. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I need you guys to understand. Anything C tier and higher is an S tier video game. Anything C tier and higher is an S tier video game in the world of video games. This is me comparing a bunch of beautiful uncut gems to each other, except Dark Souls 2. And if I had to choose Bloodborne, I would probably put Bloodborne with Dark Souls 1. For the same reason Dark Souls 1 is below these games, Bloodborne is below these games. They both have suffered from aging. That's the only problem. Demon Souls gets to be on the top of the list because it hasn't suffered from aging. It actually hasn't. Demon Souls feels just as good as it did back when I first played it. Dark Souls does as well, but Demon Souls has things that make it crazy, but don't break it, while Dark Souls is really easy to break. It's that slight aging that makes certain aspects feel too video gamey, that take you out of the experience. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3, and Sekiro did not have moments like that for me. They did not. Never once while playing Demon Souls did I sit there and go, ugh, that completely took me out of this experience. Same with Dark Souls 3. Even the bosses in Demon Souls that we had a really hard time with, we eventually beat by playing well, and we explored everything. It was easy to explore, but rewarding to explore. And the story completely unwrapped itself, was conclusive, was grandiose, and was fun. Dark Souls 3 was the same. Dark Souls 3 was the Apex Souls experience. Only dwarfed by Demon Souls because of how short it is as a base game. I have to figure out something to complain about with these games, or else they're all going to be S tier. And then Sekiro as well. Once I understood Sekiro's gameplay, I forgot I was playing a video game. It became seamless, and it felt good. It doesn't get to be any higher than this, though, because I got really lost. Really lost because of a slight oversight on FromSoft's part, in my opinion. You can go everywhere in the game before reaching the Anor Londo point in Sekiro, and I did. I fought through all the side zones before fighting Genichiro at the top. And because of that, I had already cleared everything. After fighting Genichiro, it was a boss rush, teleporting to the end of every area because I had already unlocked it and fighting the bosses there. If the Anor Londo moment of Sekiro was not skippable, it probably would be equal or higher than Demon Souls. And I guess I'll just put the remasters at the same tier that the base game is, in my opinion, because it's the same game. These remasters are pretty much the same game. Demon Souls might be different. We'll see. We'll see if bringing up the graphics takes away, because the one thing I'm worried about the Demon Souls remake is, with the graphics and everything being brought up, it still is fundamentally original Demon Souls. And original Demon Souls aged as well as it did because its graphics match the feeling of the gameplay age-wise, but the age does not take away from the experience at all. I'm worried that comparing the clunkier, older gameplay with newer, shinier visuals might actually harm the experience. Now, Elden Ring as is an S plus in my opinion. Elden Ring as a game is so fucking good. However, I do have things to complain about with Elden Ring. The remaster, Dark Souls 1, it's literally just it's just a retexture. It could have looked better, they could have done more, yeah. A lot of people were expecting a remake, and we just got like a new lighting engine. I do have some complaints about Elden Ring. Because in my opinion, out of all these games, Elden Ring is the easiest. Which I know a lot of people are going to say is a pretty crazy take to have. But I can explain it really, really, really easily. Up to this point, you guys have seen me playing through all these games, except this one, on the screen. And the common thing has been, overall, the power scaling has been pretty spot on. Besides Dark Eater Midir, who is meant to be the big motherfucker. Everybody dies in a reasonable amount of hits. I just have to play well, right? In Elden Ring, the game is so easy to cheese. It is so easy to cheese. All these games have been paced really well, but Elden Ring does not have the length of these other games. It is open-ended and has a ton of side content. So in order to make the game functional, they had to increase the caps of everything. In all these games, the soft cap, when you start seeing diminishing returns for stats, is level 40. In Elden Ring, it's 60. Your health and your damage scale so insanely high in Elden Ring that you can one-shot so much of the game. And then the game has so much loot in it, you can make builds that make the game the easiest experience in the entire game. There are people who went through their first playthrough of Elden Ring just putting on the heaviest weapons and never doing anything except jumping attack. And they killed everything brain dead easily. Now, there are ways in these other games to become overpowered, but no other game has as easy of a mindless flip your brain off and win without trying mechanic as Elden Ring did with jump attacks and weapon art spams. Yep, Rivers of Blood. Elden Ring's extended scaling wounds its difficulty. It is the easiest game if you use it. If you don't and you play the game normally, it has some really hard bosses. But the game's so long, it's kind of impossible to not just cheese it. Other power scaling in the DLC that Miyazaki said fix it. What Miyazaki said in the context of the DLC is that apparently there's going to be an alternate scaling method. When you go into the DLC, your damage is going to be scaled according to your level. And you can make the game easier by doing some sort of action that raises a new stat. They're adding a whole new stat where when that stat is higher, you do more damage to the bosses in the DLC. Which will be very interesting. That means even when you're super high level, you're going to have a new stat to scale to do more damage. Imagine adaptability came... I hope not. But the way that they described it, it's going to be like you beat a boss, you get a remembrance, and then you burn the remembrance to level up a stat that gives you a flat increase to damage against monsters and bosses in the DLC. So it's a new layer of scaling. If done right, that should be amazing. If done wrong, I'm a little worried about it. But this is where I would have to put the games. And again, like I said, everything here is S plus tier as far as video games go. It is S plus tier as far as video games go. I can safely say that. These are only differentiated based on how well they've aged and how negatively the weird changes impact everything. And I feel like putting Sekiro above Bloodborne is an honest and reasonable thing to do, because Bloodborne, just after having played Bloodborne, I can tell that Sekiro was an evolution from Bloodborne in the way that Elden Ring was an evolution from Dark Souls 3. Bloodborne started the step away from the standard FromSoft Souls game formula, and Sekiro refined it. In the same way that Dark Souls 2 started to expand upon the Souls genre, and then Elden Ring refined it. I do think I kind of want to also do a version for PvP. Like, which games had the best PvP? But not all the games had PvP. Yeah, Sekiro is better. That's literally the only problem with Bloodborne, is that time was not kind to it. If the terrain had better hitboxes in general, I do think Bloodborne would be sitting on S. If the terrain was better and the camera was better. If the terrain was better, the camera was better, and Gehrman says to go to Bergenworth, Bloodborne would be an S tier. 100%. If Izalith was more fleshed out, and a lot of the endgame bosses weren't copy-pastes, Dark Souls 1 would be an S tier as well. Like, if the burning asylum demon was something else, and if the burning asylum demon was something else, and what other changes would I want them to have made to Dark Souls 1 to clean it up? If Izalith was more fleshed out, ugh. Yeah, I think really that's it. But I have to find some reason to complain about. I will say that the game did age a little wonky. Dark Souls 1 did age a little wonky. And that's another reason why I can say the Dark Souls PC port was not good. You guys remember, a lot of stuff broke. A lot of stuff broke in the Dark Souls 1 port. We played Prepare to Die edition. That's why it's on A. It aged kind of rough, just like Bloodborne did. So really, like, S is the games that were top tier and aged well. A is the games that were top tier. It did crash like twice, yeah. It crashed a couple times. We lost weird progress on things. Certain stuff broke. I'd get hit by things that didn't exist. I was slipping and sliding weirdly on certain things. Like, there were some wonkies. There were some real wonkies. So Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne both really did suffer from weird aging. Demon Souls, in my opinion, didn't suffer from bad aging. I think it... And I was emulating it. Imagine how much better it would have been on source software and hardware. Yeah, I forgot that I wasn't playing the remaster. So maybe the remaster will be even higher, because it doesn't have those problems. I think I'm safe to do that. I really should, if I want to be honest, take Demon Souls off. Elden Ring and Demon Souls don't get to go on until I've played the Demon Souls remake and until the Elden Ring DLC comes out. And then B tier is, it tried, it was close, it just wasn't good enough. And then D tier is Dark Souls 2. Base. Dark Souls 2. Base Dark Souls 2 is not good. Remaster may not look better, but it plays better, yeah. It fixes a lot of the problems that the port had, which is really the biggest argument I have against it, because the weirdly aged bad port. I kind of feel like I would have had a better time if I emulated Dark Souls 1. Like how I emulated Demon Souls. I kind of wish I had emulated Dark Souls 1 to see if that actually did fix the problems. Because for an emulation, Demon Souls ran gorgeously. It ran so good. I had no problems with the emulator, which is insane. Considering all the problems that we had with like the Armored Core emulators. And then the Dark Souls, or the Demon Souls PlayStation 3 emulator has no problems. That was nuts. It was so good. This is my definitive Bantam Kaijin in progress tier list, guys. This game was really good. Bloodborne was really fun. And while it's the bottom of A tier, it's really, really good. Did you ever get to play that one Armored Core that didn't work? Was it 5? It was 5. We're gonna try getting it to work now that I have my new computer, and hopefully it will. Demon Souls running so well gives me hope. So that is something for us to do in the future, yes. I'm really excited. Really, really excited for it. But that's a testament to these games, man. Literally the only thing I complain about, except Dark Souls 2, is age. Very few games have that. And it's not even the usual problem with games that age, where it wasn't a problem back then, but it's a problem now, because people didn't realize it. It's just the game aged poorly, and there are problems that exist because of the aging. Do a cover art tier list. You want cover art tier list? That's my cover art tier list. In my opinion, Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2's cover arts are fucking iconic. Beyond iconic. I see this and I am transported immediately to being a kid again. In the cabin I was staying with my mom when my parents first split up. Playing that game on the PlayStation 3 on a TV that didn't have sound or color. It immediately takes me back to it. And then Dark Souls 2. I agree, Dark Souls 1 cover art goes hard. Yes, it does. Dark Souls 2 has the Farum Knight and this gorgeous stuff. Farum Knight is one of the best looking armor sets in any of these games, hands down. Dark Souls 2 definitely does have that going for it. I have a statue of the Farum Knight armor set sitting at the foot of my bed under the TV right now. It goes that hard. Too bad this area behind the Farum Knight literally doesn't exist in the game because it's cut content, and the Farum Knight set is hidden, so it's impossible to find. Bloodborne's art goes hard. It goes so hard. The hunter's sitting there like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Look at that! That goes so hard. That goes so hard. Dark Souls 3, its art goes hard as well, but you don't know why it goes hard until the game, like, is done, because that's the Soul of Cinder. The final boss is literally on the cover and was in all the promotional stuff. That was such a cool twist in my opinion. Sekiro's art also goes pretty hard, but it's like a slightly less hard version of Bloodborne's. Like, it's cool. The guy's hitting a cool pose, but it is not as metal as the hunter staring out into the streets. Dark Souls Remaster's cover art is really nostalgic, seeing him light the bonfire, but it doesn't go as hard as Dark Souls 1's cover art at all. It's cool, but it does not go hard. And then Demon Souls 1 goes hard as well. I don't know. The Dragon God wasn't as cool of a boss to me as I guess for a lot of other people. For some people, it's one of the coolest bosses in the game. It's cool. I think other bosses... I wish they had the Penetrator with his new look in the remake as the cover art. That would have looked fucking sick. It would have been completely in line. Original Demon Souls art also goes kind of hard. Like, all of these arts go pretty hard, but it's just wispy and weird. Even though I really like the fluted armor, it's just kind of... The pose doesn't go very hard. And there's nothing in the background, so it's cool. It's kind of jank. And in Dark Souls 2, I still don't even know who that is. Who is that? In the Scholar of the First Sin cover. Let me look it up. Who is on the cover of the Scholar of the First Sin box? It's the Forlorn set? Really? That doesn't look similar at all. I can kind of see it, I guess. That goes so much harder than the actual Forlorn set. It goes so much harder. Oh, music tier list. You want a music tier list? This will be the last tier list I do. There. Music tier list. None of these games miss with music. I mean, here, let me play. Let's go to that part in Gehrman's theme. Like, listen to this shit, man. Do I have to say anything more? I don't think I do. Yeah, I know which game you're talking about, Sunvi. Bloodborne's music goes so hard, like Ludwig's theme. Listen to this. This is one of, in my opinion, the best soundtracks ever made, ever. Not just in a Souls game. This is Ludwig's theme. Evergrace. happens. It's so gorgeous. This isn't even the best part. Here it comes. God. It gives me goosebumps. It's peak. Peak. Hold on, there's one other. Even the more calm songs. Even like Murgo's Wet Nurse's theme had me going crazy. Listen to this shit. She's talking about Evergrace. She's talking about Evergrace. Evergrace's music was awful. That game was awful. The only Souls or FromSoft game we played so far that I hated playing. I'm glad I won it, but I actually hated playing it. You want to be reminded of it? Evergrace shop theme. I'm only gonna play like 6 seconds of it because this hurts my ears. Ugh, I fucking hate it. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. But then Demon Souls is really, really high up on my list. Because listen to this. Listen to this. This song had my brain buzzing as a kid. Shit like this. No, wait. I clicked the wrong one. I want, fuck. That's right. It was the Tower Knight theme. Listen to this. It goes so hard. This game came out so long ago, too. I wonder if the music is gonna be as good in the remake. Or if they're gonna fuck some of it up. So good. Or this. God, Maiden Astrea's theme. Oh, it's so peak. It's just top tier. You've had a terrible idea? Oh no. What if they tried to remake Evergrace? If they did not do the same music at all and made the puzzles not shit, it probably could have been a good game. It's so melancholy. The music in this game conveys the mood of the boss so fucking good. Hearing this while fighting Garl, while Garl lays his life down to protect Maiden Astrea, it's so... it's so good. It's so good. It's just so good. And then, of course, we have Dark Souls 3. How can you not say Dark Souls 3 has some of the best music in existence? Listen to this shit. Dark Souls 3 also had some themes that were weird, but they were so good. Ba ba ba. When this song hits its like big moment, even before the pling pling plon, it goes so hard. Just listen to the brass in this part right here. I know, I was stunned in my first playthrough when that part happened and he took on Gwyn's moveset. I was screaming. Here it comes. This is one of my favorite refrains from any theme ever. It goes so damn hard. So good, man. I'm getting goosebumps. And here we go. Fuck, man. Like actual goosebumps. This was like the culmination of 7 years of my childhood. It's so good, man. But then on top of like the just good ones, listen to this. Listen to this theme. This is so unique. Oh. Oh my god. Like, I'm getting chills listening to these songs. They affect me that much. Phase 2 of the Deacons of the Deep is the best part too. Here, let me play Deacons of the Deep Phase 2. Listen to how much harder Phase 2 goes. With the bells coming in. Violin is so gorgeous. Oh. But then I can't talk about Dark Souls 3's music without bringing up Dark Souls 1's music, because the Plim Plim Plon was not the only Dark Souls 1 song that came back for Dark Souls 3 to add weight to a situation. There are 3 others, actually. I can play them really quickly. There is, first of all, well, I guess 2 others. First of all, in Dark Souls 1... Yeah, really. In Dark Souls 1, One of my favorite bosses is Artorias. Story-wise, visual-wise, gameplay-wise, world-wise, Artorias is, in my opinion, one of the coolest characters that has ever been added into any work of fiction. And I'll die on that hill. I would cosplay him in a moment. In the blink of an eye, I would cosplay him if I had the opportunity to. Listen to his theme. Listen to the bells. Listen to the violins. The choir in the background. So fucking gorgeous, right? Now listen to the theme of the Abyss Watchers, which is one of my favorite themes in Dark Souls 3 for the reason, like, it just goes hard. Listen to this shit. Oh, God. They brought back refrains from Artorias' theme and put it into his legacy, the Abyss Watchers theme. So that's another song from Dark Souls 1. Gwyn returns in Soul of Cinder. I love this. I love the chanting. I'm gonna let this one play because this has another one of the best refrains in all of Souls. But there's a third one that also goes really hard. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, man. So good. It's so fucking gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. And then the bells come back. It's so good. Now, there's one other song that no one talks about, but in my opinion, when I did my first playthrough, was just as impactful as the Plin Plin Plong, but it did not come in halfway. In Dark Souls 1, one of the prettiest themes is the theme of the Moonlight Butterfly and Dark Sun Gwendolyn. Can I get a louder version? There we go. It's really simple. But it's pretty. It's really pretty and haunting. It gives you this sense of, like, etherealness, right? Now, his theme comes back in Dark Souls 3 when you fight Aldrich. You didn't notice? Listen. This part. It's Gwendolyn's theme, but all fucked up. Just like Aldrich was. It's so good. And then there's this part which just goes hard. Ah, goosebumps. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, Dark Souls 3 not only has some of like the hardest hitting tracks, but it has 3 different times where it brings back music from Dark Souls 1 and slaps it in all updated and beefy. And it's 3 of the coolest parts of the game for me. Finding Aldrich having consumed Gwendolyn in Anor Londo, the Abyss Watchers permanently killing, like constantly killing each other because they can't die because they've been hunting the Abyss following the legacy of Artorias. And then obviously the Soul of Cinder taking Gwyn's stance and moveset and then just being a super badass. Sekiro also had really top tier music. My favorites. I really loved the theme of apparitions. The music that they'd use whenever you'd fight like an unholy ghost or a yokai boss. This. So good. It makes you so tense. I love it so much. And then of course, there's the Demon of Hatred. Oh boy, the Demon of Hatred. He's literally me. Like, it doesn't go as hard as the others, but it still goes hard. Hello! How's it going? We're talking about a bunch of the music and all the games we played. Since they asked me to rate all the games based on their music. In fact, let's reset this up properly. We can't really put these anywhere, can we? The music did go so hard in Sekiro. And then obviously, like Dark Souls 1 had a whole bunch of bangers. Dark Souls 2 music was kind of lacking until we hit the DLC. Because, like, listen to this. Listen to this boss theme. It goes so hard. This was the Burnt Ivory King, who is still touted as my hands-down favorite character besides, like, Aldrich. Or Aldia in Dark Souls 2. Aldia's theme also goes really hard, but for a different reason. Because all these games have bangers, all of them. That fight alone was so badass. Going down into the Chaos Flames of Izalith, fighting alongside the Elium Loist Knights to defeat the burnt Elium Loist Knights until eventually the king shows up and you have to fight him. And it was so good. A shining gem amongst a pile of rough. So good. Really, none of these games had bad music. None of them. It's all bangers. We have yet to see the Demon Souls remake, though. Because I did get told that they changed music in the Demon Souls remake. Hopefully they stayed true and didn't fully replace songs, or else that's gonna make me sad. Because all the tracks in Demon Souls deserved a true remaster and remake. So hard. It all just goes so hard. It goes so fucking hard. And then Elden Ring's music goes insanely hard too, but I can't really go too much into that because we haven't done our Elden Ring playthrough yet. At least not our full Elden Ring playthrough on the channel. That's different. Oh, my neck is fucking killing me. I can't believe we did it though. We won Bloodborne. Good job. Thank you. I guess that is one last question you guys asked that I'll answer before ending the stream. Not my favorite Moonlight Greatsword. Only because of the way staggers work in this game. I do like the blade waves being based off of the bullets. I also like that the running heavy shoots out a wave. I like that the rolling heavy shoots out a wave, and I like that it has the Dark Souls 3 thrust attack. All of those are really, really, really cool. But it's just the way that Bloodborne's combat works. It doesn't allow the Moonlight Sword to play like the Moonlight Sword. In my opinion, the best version of the Moonlight Sword in all of these games still is the Demon Souls. Demon Souls Large Sword of Moonlight. It having that special gimmick of being able to go through shields is so cool. And all of its attacks are like wide swings. And I like that. I like the wide swings. This game almost has wide swings. Like the third and fourth attacks are wide swings. This one has a blind spot on the right side. And this maintains that blind spot at an angle. Which is okay. It's still good. It is still good. But then starting with Dark Souls 1... the Moonlight Greatsword then started having like the overhead chop attack that this almost has. I like the wide swings better. That's why I want a Large Sword of Moonlight in the Elden Ring DLC that has the wide swings of the Large Sword of Moonlight, not the overhead chopping. This game was really fun. And in the future, we'll have to come back and do some of the Chalice dungeons. We will have to do that, because there's a whole bunch of Chalice dungeons that I haven't done, which means there's a bunch of special side bosses that I haven't experienced. We'll have to look into which ones are worth doing, and then coming and doing them. I guess I could do one more level. And be level 90.
I honor and you too. Very well,
You know what? Nah. I choose to stay level 89.
farewell, good. May you find your worth
Also,
in the waking world.
Man, I'm having a hard time here. The doll is really top tier. Like, really top tier. As far as Bonfire Maidens go. She's really, really high tiered. Like, it's really hard to not put her at the top. The Maiden in Black is still really high tier as well. So is the Dark Souls 3 Fire Maiden. It's real tough. It's a real tough choice. Hey, if I end up in a wheelchair and I do a Gehrman cosplay, anyone wanna do the doll? You can push me around. Also, the reverse backstep being so short makes reverse backstep tech really funny. I can't wait for Sekiro, where we find the katana made by forging glorious Nippon Moonlight 1000 times. There is no Moonlight Greatsword. However, if I remember correctly, I remember hearing Bone dresses up as the Bone dresses up as the doll. That'd be great. The Chikage. The Moonlight Greatsword isn't the only FromSoft weapon that has existed since the beginning. Back in Kingsfield 1, they had the Shadow Blade. You got coffee? I said if I end up in a wheelchair and I do a Gehrman cosplay, who's gonna cosplay the doll? because it's really hard for me to not put the doll at the top of the bonfire waifu list. She's so top tier. She's just really cute and nice and pretty. I'd say she's right up there at the top with the Maiden in Black and the Firekeeper in Dark Souls 3. It's hard. One can go ahead. I want to be my beloved Maiden in Black. I'd say Iggy dresses as Lady Maria. But since Kingsfield, From Software has had the Shadow Blade, which has also been in all of their games. The Shadow Blade came into Demon Souls as a katana. I can't remember what the katana's called, but it's part of Yurt. Part of Yurt and Mephistopheles questline, which we didn't do because fuck Yurt and Mephistopheles. And then in Dark Souls, it came back as the Chaos Blade in Shiva of the East's questline, which we also didn't do. It's a katana that hurts you when you hit people. The idea of like a cursed katana that damages you when you damage other people is something that's From Software has been doing for a while. I believe the Chikage is this game's version of it. Yep, the ray eats away at the wielder's very essence. Cursed blood that damages you when you use it. And then in Elden Ring, it comes back, but in its most egregious form yet, its most disgusting and vile form it has taken. Because up till now, it's just been a high bleed, high damage katana that hurts you when you use it. In Elden Ring, it is rivers of blood, which does not hurt you when you use it, and everybody knows Rivers of Blood because it has been spammed to shit. It is one of the most mindless high damage weapons in the game, where you just spam cuts with the weapon art, bleed for 500 billion damage, literally no negatives. We have the chance to get more runes, like great runes, in the Elden Ring DLC. And if we get great runes in the Elden Ring DLC, I kind of want ones that are transformative, like these. Like the Milkweed rune turning you into a goopy. The other rune turning you into a monster. Like, if I... turning you into a beast. If I take the Cost Parasite and the Augur of Ebrietas, now I have like a full beast build, or a full goop build. I can now like put on Choir Garb, and there we go. If this game was like fresh and had just come out, I'd probably want to do PvP with a build like this, just because it's cool. You get to do the cool tentacle attacks, and you get to dodge. Then you get the auger. Shoot out the tentacles. Long range attacks. Get a cool scream. You get the parry. It's so cool. The backstep attack pukes everywhere. It's so cool. It really is cool. I love stuff like this. Like Dark Souls has the dragon transformation that's really, really cool. But this is just something else. Being able to commune with the cosmic forces. Funny tentacle fungus, man. Funny. What do you mean, stop it? It's cool. Look at me. Aren't I pretty? Alright, but I want to leave everything as it was. Yeah, bonita, thank you. Finally, someone understands just how bonita I truly am. This is why we're married, Sunvi. Really cool Moonlight Sword, though. Not my favorite, but still a pretty cool Moonlight Sword. I like how it's actually really honest and true to the original design of the Moonlight Sword, like the classic design of the Moonlight Sword. It's just missing a gem on it. You dress up as the tentacle fungus guys? Hell yeah. I'm trying to think of every... Oh, I just did an emote. Of every one of these games, if I could cosplay one character from each one, what would it be? If I could cosplay a character from Demon Souls, that's a toughie. I probably want to be one of the cooler monsters, not a person. It'll be the wheelchair. Sounds good. The Penetrator would be awesome in Demon Souls. So would Alant. Old King Alant. Otherwise, the fluted armor set in general is really cool. So, like, Ostrava of Boletaria. I'd totally be Ostrava. Then Dark Souls 1. Obviously, I'd want to cosplay Artorias. But you know who else I'd want to cosplay? Big Hat Logan. I want to be Big Hat Logan. I want that big hat. I want the huge hat. This massive wizard's hat. That'd be so pog. That'd be so cool. You kidding me? Be sick. Then Dark Souls 2. We love big ass hats in here. Yes, we do. Dark Souls 2, I'd want to be the Burnt Iron King. 100%. The Burnt Iron King is just too fucking cool. You can't not be the Burnt Iron King. Do you remember that Bloodborne guy in Dark Souls 1 in the DLC? Yep, yep. I know who you're talking about. Marvelous Chester, I think was his name. Who gets the big Bloodborne crossbow. Dark Souls 3? Soul of Cinder is cool. Slave Knight Gale is really cool. Slave Knight Gale is just a badass. Aldrich would be an interesting one to try pulling off. Or just an Abyss Watcher. Just one of the Abyss Watchers would be really cool. The Nameless King is also a really cool boss from Dark Souls 3 that would be tons of fun to cosplay, especially to have like the giant Dragon Slayer sword spear. That's such a cool weapon. It's such a fucking cool weapon. And then Bloodborne, I'd probably just want to be Gehrman. Like there are other cool characters in the game, but Gehrman is just, he'd be so much fun to cosplay. It'd be so much fun to cosplay. There's this old dude in a wheelchair being pushed around. Get the cool switch weapon, have it on your back, just get pushed around. Or I could just go feral. Just be naked and paint myself all white and then be the Orphan of Kos. Just walk around the cosplay screaming, ripping chunks off of a giant placenta and throwing it at people. I'm sure people would get the reference and the cops would not get called. I'm more than certain. Would fit, yeah. I think I got the body type for it. Yeah, I'm sure. I kind of would have a hard time cosplaying anyone from Sekiro because I'm not Asian. But Sword Saint Ishin is really fucking cool, even just for an excuse to have his weapons. Otherwise, the owl is a really cool character. He'd be a lot of fun to cosplay. You know what? I could be the sculptor. I think I could be the sculptor. Just this decrepit old man. The armored guy that yells, Robert! Yeah, true. I could be one of the big fat headless guys that take your soul out of your ass and put it into their own ass. I could be that. I think I could pull that off. Yeah. I could definitely pull that off. Who was Robert? I don't know. His friend. Don't worry about it. Nah, I wanna be the giant tree dragon. That's my cosplay. I wanna be the big heavenly tree dragon. Specifically one of the little rotten, stinky old guy ones. Give me the lore about Robert. Sounds cool. You must do it. What, the fat guy? Oh, you mean the stinky dragon. The rotten parts of the heavenly dragon. I thought you meant the big fat headless dude that pulls your soul out of your ass and puts it in his own. Then Elden Ring. There's so many characters in Elden Ring that would be fun to cosplay. Where does he fit in the John Sekiro lore? There's so many cool characters in Elden Ring. You go as Blaith, I'll be Ranny. Blaith would be cool. Blaith would be cool. Radigan would be fun. Radigan is just really cool. I don't think I have the body type to cosplay Radigan, though. I don't think I have the body type to be Radigan. I've always liked cosplays that are really transformative. With, like, extensions that you use. One of my favorite cosplays ever was a Fiddlesticks from League of Legends cosplay back in, like, 2012, 2013. Where the guy used, spring stilts to have stick legs and jump around the way old Fiddlesticks walks. It's one of my favorite cosplays ever. And I would love to do something like that with, like, Malekith. Where I have, like, extensions for the arms so that I can walk around on all fours and stuff like that. Wait, Dark Souls 2 and D tier is crazy? Original Dark Souls 2 without the DLC is in D tier. Dark Souls 2 with actual DLC is higher. That sounds so cool. I'm not a furry. I would love to do transform because I always liked cosplays that make people larger than like a normal person's cosplay would be. Like people who have the giant suits for like Chaos Space Marine cosplays and stuff like that. That shit is cool. I'd want to do something big like that. That would be so fun. Otherwise, there's a bunch of other characters. It'd be fun to do a Radahn cosplay where you just get a really tiny plushy horse and you like glue it to the inside of your legs so it dangles around underneath you as you walk around. It'd be awesome. Are you kidding me? That'd be so sick. I'm really excited. You know who would be awesome in the cosplay? Fucking Mesmer. Mesmer's design is so badass. And I'm lanky enough, I could probably do it. I could probably pull off a Mesmer. I think I could pull off Mesmer. Especially with his little snake buddies. Did you guys see the picture of his little snake buddy that I posted in the Discord? Look at him. Look at his little smile. Bro's living the best life. There's so many, like, peak things. Although, I do think one cosplay that I want to do more than anything else is I want to cosplay Lyle from Kingsfield. Kingsfield 2. The Golden King himself. I want to do Icarus's armor and have a Moonlight Greatsword. No one's ever done it before. We would be a first. No one's ever recreated the Icarus armor from Kingsfield for a cosplay. Same with Lynn. No one's ever done a Lynn cosplay. Get little snakes like him when we get the armor, dude. Little tiny snakes with wings. That'd be so sick. And the snake boys, look at him. He's so happy to be there. He's just happy. I miss Lynn. I must become her. Hell yeah. I want to cosplay Gyra and be a big black dragon. Cosplay Dark Eater Madir. Yeah, as of right now, this is the tier list. As long as Demon Souls doesn't take steps back from base Demon Souls and is only an additive experience, it'll easily be S tier. And then Elden Ring, I already consider S tier. We'll see how the DLC is before I give it an official placing. I can't take them off the list now that I've placed them somewhere, sadly. I'm so glad, though, that we did win Dark Souls 2 the way that we did. What are you drinking? I'm just finishing up some Coke that I had. Because, like I was saying the whole time I was talking, like, I need to win it this way. I need to win it this way. I need to win it this way. Because I have to win it that way in order to be able to criticize Dark Souls 2, and no one can tell me otherwise. I now have all the rights in the world. Someone could pop in and say, Dark Souls 2 is the best game in the series, you're wrong. And then I could say, your invincibility frames are based around a stat. And the scaling in the game is so poorly done that you can just abuse spell scaling and instantly win any fight without ever actually trying. And then they can say, well, you should have just leveled up the stat then, get good. Now I can say, I didn't level it up and I still won. Because the game's fucking easy. Because it's not difficult, it's artificial difficulty and it's numbers. Tying your iframes around a stat is a bad gameplay choice, and I won without that crutch. What are you gonna say to that? You can't tell me to get good, I won without it. The Demon Souls remake takes minus points aesthetic. It changes the aesthetic overall? Interesting, we'll see. We'll see if the changed aesthetic is still, like, good enough that it's not a negative. I'm excited to try it out. Just a bit. I'm really excited to try it. I am. Man, I don't want to say goodbye to the doll. I really did enjoy this game. We'll be back. We're gonna do Chalice Dungeons eventually. Just a bit, you have to look for it? Okay. Well, we'll have lots of time to look for it when we play it. We'll be back. I do want to do Chalice Dungeons and fight some of the more interesting special bosses that we didn't get to fight because they're like locked behind specific Chalice Dungeons. But first, Germany. First, we're going to be playing... Oops, didn't mean to do that. If I had to suffer S3, so do you. True. We'll be playing Arknights tomorrow. We'll do all the S missions, and then we'll do the new Annihilation. And then if we need more time, or if we have more time to pad out, we can maybe do a couple IS runs, but we'll be finishing the event on Arknights tomorrow. Can't wait for you to play Lies of P. Yep, Lies of P is on the list. It'll be played after we're done with the FromSoft series. Because we've got 1 month left until the DLC. 1 month left, guys. We are at the very end. Unicorn, we've got a whole bunch of games to play. But we gotta do this series first, and we're almost done. I am so happy. We are one new game away, Demon Souls, from having... Yep, Nier Replicant is also on the list. But we are one new Souls game away from being able to sit down and say I have full ability to criticize everything in all of FromSoft because I've played every game. All of it. And it's documented and streamed. So no one can say, yeah, you probably did this, you probably did that. It's all streamed. All of it. Recorded and on the internet. Hundreds of hours of me playing these games. That's something I want to do. The grind is finally paying after. Something I'm going to do when I start getting my days off from work. I'm going to download my VODs and I'm going to crunch them and cut out the intros and outros from each stream and have full plays, starting from the very beginning, playing all the way to the end in one video. So it'll be like a 40-hour video for Kingsfield 2 and a 40-hour video for Kingsfield 4 and like 30 hours Bloodborne, 30 hours Dark Souls 3, 30 hours Dark Souls 2. That way anybody who wants to watch through don't have to watch through a ton of streams and can just watch the video. It's the League of Legends of Final Fantasy. I know a bunch of people that do play that game. If you wanted to play 2B, there's so many games that 2B is in now. 2B's in Rainbow Six. She's a legendary skin for Iana. You can just be 2B. 2B's been put in fighting games now. Yeah. Yeah, it's a legendary skin. It's completely transformative. She gets the little floating robot in her stuff. Oh, sure. Go play Grand Blue Versus. Yep. There's a bunch of games where you can be 2B. They added her in Grand Blue. Alright, doll. Goodbye for now. You're so tall and pretty. Right. Close out of that. You would not recommend Grand Blue. Bop. 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 That's another game down, guys. We're running out of games. Obviously, there's gonna be a lot of other stuff for us to do. Like, we've got the Chalice dungeons, and then I want to try doing a Dark Souls 1 speed run on the remastered, just to see how quickly I can beat it. I don't plan on getting any records, but I'd love to throw my pitch in. The Demon Souls remake still, and then when Elden Ring's DLC comes out, we're gonna have a ton of content. We're gonna have PvP again. We're gonna have all sorts of stuff, build videos, and then the Chalice dungeons and Demon Souls, we still get to do those, or Demon Souls Bloodborne, we still get to do those. Like, there's a whole bunch of Souls content for us to still do. It's just, we're almost done. You love Hollow Knight? I've never played Hollow Knight. I know a fair bit about what's in it, though. I could still play it. It still would be fun. Still would be fun. I'm excited. Peak game also. Ouch, my neck is killing me. tired. I'm really happy. That game was cool. Suffered from age a little bit, but it was manageable. I managed to get through it, and the really hard bosses were really fun. The only boss to truly give me a genuinely hard time was Orphan of Kos. I would agree that Orphan of Kos was, in my opinion, the strongest boss out of all the bosses in the game. I would say that. Very base games. I want to play again. I'll have to play it. But we did it. We did it. I got one more day of work and then we start to get our days off. I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. This Day Silk song has not come out. Yep. Yep. Elden Ring was made, launched. The DLC was announced, made, and is gonna be launched all before Silk Song comes out. Kind of crazy. Paper Mario with bugs. Thank you, indie devs. Won't get moved like this from AAA slot. Yeah, not even a trailer. Yep. This was fun. I can't believe I beat it. It did feel really short. It really wasn't that short of a game. I did 7 streams, and if I had done longer streams, I probably could have beaten it in 6, maybe even 5 streams. But we did it. We won. I beat it. Now we just have... I guess... Hold on. I can... That's all that's left, guys. So, I guess we gotta decide, do we want to play Enchanted Arms or Otogi first? I guess we'll do Otogi first. Enchanted sounds cool. It is supposedly cool. It's a more classic style JRPG, so it's longer. So we'll probably do Otogi first since it's shorter. I think. The variety is something you're looking forward to a lot. Well, you'll get a little bit of variety with these next couple games. They're FromSoft games, but they aren't part of any series. So it should be cool. Should be cool. Silk Song coming out is like Phantom doing a Guilty Gear stream. Yep. Or a Fate stream. Or a Elden Ring PvP stream. Or a horror game stream. I still never finished playing, what's that game? Cry of Fear. We still gotta go back and finish Cry of Fear, Afraid of Monsters. We finished normal Cry of Fear. That was still one of my favorite playthroughs that we've done. Cry of Fear is such a good game. But expect, Eggy, you said you want variety a lot. Expect a lot of variety in about a week. We'll be doing our streams playing games like Atogi and Enchanted Arms, yes. But I'm also going to be making a lot of variety videos. A lot. Yep, we have Devil May Cry. We have so many games that we're gonna be playing. Don't you guys worry. We've got a ton. An actual ton. Also, I don't mean to drag on the conversation because I should go to bed. I'm tired and I got work tomorrow and I wanna get some rest for the last day of work that I have in a row before I finally start getting some days off. Did you guys see the weird Dead by Daylight crossovers that they showed off today? They did a Dungeons and Dragons crossover and Matthew Mercer's Vecna is the killer. I never would have guessed that in 100,000 years. It's cool. It's not what I expected. And then Castlevania also, apparently they're gonna add Dracula from Castlevania as the new killer. It's interesting. It's very weird, but interesting nonetheless. Alright. I'm going to bed. We did it. We saved everyone from the dream, and we ascended. We ascended to godhood, quote unquote. You guys all take care, okay? I almost accidentally clicked the exit button. The stream would have dropped. Well, you're all awesome and wormsome. Thank you, kidding. One more game down off the list, guys. We're getting there. I appreciate you guys all hanging out. Yesterday should have been an absolutely horrible day, and I actually had a really good day thanks to you guys. So, thank you. Yep, that's the music. Good night. You guys take care. We'll be back again tomorrow with some Arcanines. I'll see you then.
Data